You know the drill. Say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
Take marker, talk to me. Let's go to A24. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. for Ryan680.
I'm Angela Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. If you have not already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell notification to get notified for movie reviews in this case. And trailer reactions. We got 2 trailer reactions that came out this past week, guys. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to us. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers. We are literally at 1,500 subscribers left to hit that 10,000 mark. We're truly excited for that. It's really been a remarkable year for us, and thank you so much, guys, from the followers, subscribers, and new followers that are, or new subscribers that just found us. Thank you so much, guys. We love talking movies with y'all. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right to it. Angela, what are we talking about today?
So this was an interesting one. We saw this on a Mystery Movie Monday at Regal Cinema.
Regal Unlimited, guys. So we just became Regal Unlimited, guys. So to give you a little backstory here, we became Regal Unlimited for about a month now, I would say.
Yeah, close to a month.
Yeah, close to a month. And we never really done Mystery Monday or Monday Mystery. Well, I forgot.
We've heard of it like through friends and acquaintances that's a thing. It's been going on for some time.
Yeah.
So now that we're Unlimited members, we decided to give it a try for the first time. And so the mystery movie that we saw, Monday Mystery Movie was Talk to Me.
Yeah. Which I actually knew because they kind of give us a hint, and I was just
he guesstimated. He did a guess.
It's rated R. The next rated R movie was like essentially,
and they gave it runtime. They gave it runtime, so we're like, oh, it can't be like Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
like
of course not. And so definitely was. I mean, I was surprised. I was still surprised. I was just like surprised that I got it right. More surprised that it was the movie, but I was very surprised that I got it right. But hey, we're loving it. We love it. If you haven't tried Regal Unlimited, if they are Regal theaters in your area, city, if there is quite a bit of them, because there's about 5-6 of them here in San Antonio. A lot of them are scattered out of the city, which is kind of okay with me because we select theater and everything,
which is good because it attracts a lot of like people from different parts of town, so like we have one close to ours, but we also have a theater we favorite more that's a little further, so really it's really accessible to a lot of people in San Antonio, so we like it. And
granted, there was no press screening for this, so there was kind of I was very bummed out about that, the fact that we already knew we were not going to get a press screener for this,
especially considering now that we've seen it. I think it would have been done good like if there was an earlier screening.
Definitely like a promo screening for this when it comes down to audience. And that's the thing too with promo screenings, press screenings that we go to. We got Oppenheimer, by the way, this week. And so I love it when I get to see fans react, not talk, but react, react to certain scenes and everything. And so we're talking about A24, guys. Talk to Me. Talk to Me tells of a story when a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand. They become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. We kind of already knew the premise of this, watching for the trailers and all that stuff, so we already knew. Making it by A24, I was already on board for this. Movies like by A24, they don't disappoint on so many levels. A24, I can't even remember a movie where I was just like, that was a crappy. Granted, there's times where I'm just like, that was an okay ending. I still enjoyed the movie. Like Bodies was just like, really? If you haven't seen Bodies, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but
I think really, I
think that's the premise of the movie, but still, it's just the style of it and everything. And we knew this is not, and it sucks too because we just talked about it. We're like, we're millennials, and the next generation party music is totally like irrelevant on my take right here, on my point of opinion. So
this is definitely like from the point of view of like Gen Z.
Oh, definitely. The music,
and you could tell. Yeah. You could totally tell. And it's funny because like, I know when we were young, we did stupid things that like we shouldn't have done, like play with the Ouija board, or just light of the feather stuff with the board. That was things. So this was like I guess this new generation's way of kind of like exploring those like weird curiosities. But it's like the whole time you're watching, you're like cringe because you're like, you shouldn't be doing that. Don't play with the spirits. But again, I can't complain because that's what we had our things back in the day. So it was really cool to see that point of view, that it was younger generation. By gosh, though, that hand, that embalmed hand is freaky.
Let's talk about So what I'm gonna mention before that, without further ado, Sophie Wilde, she plays Mia in here, and she does. Or I thought she really has that that really captivating sustains of I've been through some stuff. And I felt like that already when the camera first hit on her. I was just like, oh man, because we saw this, we see a certain scene that happens, and we're just like, oh man, like there's something going on here, something has happened, something tragic and a tragedy that really bestows upon someone and everything. And so I thought that was really good, executed by first time directorial debut of Danny and Michael Filippo, which I had never seen their stuff. Apparently, a lot of people have. And they came out with a show, I believe, that was Raka Raka 2013. So it was a really popular show. It still is probably so. But they've been known for doing that. And so, you know, movies like this and everything. When I always talk about films, when I talk about horror, this is what a horror movie is. The horror movies, and it's funny too because they rely so much on that big bass. We always talk about that here at the studios. We always talk about that, the big bass, boom, boom. You know, just the real movement of that spirit or or whatever the case may be. And the fact of the matter is that they were able to do something without really doing that too much of that, would still create that thrill, still create that creepiness. There were some moments where it kind of went basic, but it wasn't too much, right? I would say for me it was more like with my, I guess, pet peeve about horror movies nowadays is that they rely a lot on like pointless jump scares. Yeah. And a lot of, you know, really the same formula when it comes to the story, right? And this was not the case. I really liked the way they framed a lot of like creepy moments, and I really liked the story and how it ended. Now, will everyone love the ending? Probably not. But I liked that it was different. It didn't follow the same formula, and that worked for me. This was also pretty heavily on like the psychological aspect, which really like. It makes you question a lot of things. Yeah, like, and it's what's still, really going on, and it still leaves it. I mean, put a comments down below. Did you have a psychological thrill in this? I mean, it really messes with the mind in so many ways, in so many outcomes. This movie really partakes that whole formula, and it does it so damn well. I mean, Danny and Philip, they do a great job here. I think they did for being their directorial debut. That was a fantastic job. Danny and Michael do a great job in here as directing in this film. This film had a beginning, middle, and end. And when I always say that a lot, people were just like, "What do you mean?" Right? I mean that it's straight to the point. It doesn't beat around the bush. It actually takes us into this world, to this current time, because I believe it is our current time in a way. And so so like it doesn't. It's not like past, present, nothing like that, which I did like as well. But you don't need a whole explanation of like what's going on when you go into a film like this. You really partake, like you experience the experiences that they are going through those characters. And I love that so much, because I love when horror movies do that. They really like, it's like almost like you're going in with them. But all I'm saying is that hand was just creepy as a mother. Like, why are you touching that? Like, why are you touching what is wrong with the next generation? That's what you're just thinking in your mind. It was a game. That's what's wild about that. It was a game. And I'm like, you know, again, like when we were young, I remember the game that like everyone liked was light as a feather, stiff as a board, but that was nowhere in comparison to like letting a spirit technically possess you for like 90 seconds. Like, that's wild. That's just like no. I mean, obviously, I mean, it's very you know, it's very, and the thing is though that really astonishing to me is that we saw that in the trailer. We saw in the trailer the possession and all that. The fact that what people do in this movie are so cringe whenever something happens, whenever something goes wrong, and it's so true though. That's the scary part. It is so true. What are they gonna do? Instead of helping someone, you're gonna bring out your phone. Just like, I mean, I remember the last time that happened, a man called Otto with Tom Hanks. He was going to hit the train, and people didn't want to help him, and an older guy helped him. All the young people, like, I don't want to say our age, but like the people that are younger, maybe younger. The younger. I really think it's not necessarily millennials per se. I think it's a little bit the next generation. In a way, I'm not saying, we're not just great. We're not segregating, but we're not saying like, oh, but it's definitely it's a change, yes, and how society is now. Yeah, instead of helping them, you're just gonna bring out your phone and record it and hopefully go viral. And hey, all I'm saying is that this is crazy. It's so real, and I liked how they pointed that out so many times in this movie because of the fact that they do that. Everyone, regardless of the case may be, it's just how it is now. It's just how it is now, and it sucks. It's terrible, but the possession moments. Let's talk about that. The possession moments were very vital on the horror aspect. You know, it's something so simple. Yeah. Like the way they do it
that it's so effective.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how these actors and actresses, like, got into it. And it's just even something so simple, like, as the darkening of the eyes.
Yeah.
Like, to let you know that they were in that moment possessed.
Yeah.
So simple, so effective. It was so good. And it's crazy how they described, because this is obviously a viral game in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of kids, that's the thing to do.
It's trending.
And it's crazy when they describe the feeling of, like, why they do it. Because it makes you question, like, what's going on? You know, like, there's a lot of forces that, like, make you question it deeper. They don't explain it, but you as an audience member, you're kind of questioning it, which I like, because you're like, it makes you think. And so the game was wild to begin with, but I gotta say, when the turn, I guess it all went wrong step happened, that was crazy. And I like that we got to explore more of Mia's, she's the main character, her past, and like what's going on with these forces. It's crazy. I think it was done so well. Her story was done so well.
And it's by A24. I mean, dude, A24 knows how to make great horror movies. I think they capitalized it so many times. Midsummer, Hereditary. I mean, they capitalized on. There's this certain scene in Hereditary that I still talk about to this day. That's just so good, and it's just so. It's so creepy. It gives you a thrill of its own. But yeah, this is actually written by Bill Hinsman, and this is actually first time writing a movie. Crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, crazy.
So a lot of firsts for this movie, and I gotta say, I appreciate a lot of it. I know a lot of hard work went into this. It seems like a passion project.
Yeah.
You get that feel that, like, they really wanted to make something great, and it pulled it off. I think they did it was all around a very well done film. Yeah,
definitely. They actually did screen this at South by Southwest this past year as well, which I thought, and this movie was really good. It was really fantastic. I enjoyed a lot of these horror elements here. This is what horror movies are about. This is it, guys. This is it. I thought it was really, really good. I know we talk about it so many times where just horror movies are just not that good anymore, and it sucks because they don't come out to be that. They really come out with these bassy moments, and they just think that jump scares and all that stuff is going to entertain us. But
I mean, to a certain degree, it does.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, the thing is, though, you gotta have a good story, and with this movie, and I know not like everybody else. If you want to just go in for jump scares, that's awesome. Enjoy that. Well, with my personal opinion, I want to go for jump scares and the story, the emotional grasp on life. I want to see that in the movie. I want to see that fighting for that life. We see that a lot in the Conjuring movies, and just we see that a lot in so many different possession movies. The Pope Exorcist, that was so good, and I was just like, wow, like I enjoyed that movie. Russell Crowe does a fantastic job, in here. But going back to A24 here, they don't disappoint. I mean, Bodies. That's not really a horror movie. It's
like a thriller.
It's a thriller, definitely a thriller. But the fact of the matter is, like, I enjoyed this movie. Riley, which is played by Joe Bird, he does a really good job in here.
What happened to him?
That was so creepy. Yeah, that was so
wild.
creepy. A lot of these moments in here we saw capitalize on what's going on to today, and even so forth with the phones, with everything. I love that. I think they did it on purpose, though, because they're like, if we're gonna make a horror movie in our current time, let's make it real. And I kind of felt like that with the way the directors did it and everything. And Danny, this is your first movie coming in. Bravo to you, man. Bravo to you. I love this movie. This movie's fantastic. Definitely one of the top horror movies to check out this year, I would say. The top 5 for me. Even though it's Insidious Chapter 4, and then this one as well. And then, the Pope's Exorcist. It's definitely...
It's up there. With some big studios and big headliners like Insidious, it's Patrick Wilson.
But that's a big studio.
Russell Crowe. For this to be a contender and to kind of be up there, that's a pretty good accomplishment.
And A24, though, you got to remember, they just won with the Whale last year, so they are exceeding their expectations. I think they exceed their expectations every single year. They bring it up to another level. Everything, everywhere. Like A24, like I'm saying, A24 is not a small studio no more. That's all I'm saying. It ain't no small.
But the thing with it is, I think as A24 grows, I still think they take particular care on the movies that they put out.
Look, even their first show was Euphoria, and just look how popular, look how awareness they gave to teens, to it just is in day. I mean, just there's so much a toll on someone that really goes through it. And I love how they really emphasize on so many different levels, on so many different characters. That was really good. But going back to this, guys, I really enjoyed here. Sophie Wilde does a fantastic job. The obsession of just of all the kids, really.
Yeah, to do this game.
Possessed.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I would never do that. I'm just saying, I would never. You're crazy.
You
are crazy. I'm good. Yeah, this is the fun we deserved. Hell yes, it was. Ratings 1 out of 10. 10 be the highest when you give this rating, Angela.
It was very surprising. I don't think everyone's gonna like it. I did, because again, I love psychological horror movies.
Yeah,
it makes you question it, and I like that it's a very open-ended ending.
Yeah,
it doesn't really close and answer a lot of questions that you have. So you kind of walk away having to think about, like, oh, I wonder what happened here.
Yeah. It is open-ended, by the way.
Yeah, so I like that. So I would give it, because of the cast and the story, and it was done very well, I give it an 8.5 because it surprised me. It was such a good film for being like a first-time directorial debut. It was such a great, well-done film, and I can't say enough good things about it, so I will stick with that score.
Yeah, I'm at we've been on point, I guess, on so many levels here. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 as well. This movie reminds me so much. And when it comes to horror this year, what movie did we just see a few months ago this year that was very psychological, very, very good? We give it high ratings. Malum, that came out.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was fantastic. Oh my God. And that was made by fans that that was a fan-made movie by a studio that picked it up.
That was great.
And that movie was just, oh my. If you haven't seen Malum, guys, check it out. We recommend that 110% because that movie was so good. It reminds me so much of that film because we saw that one first.
More gory. That was more gory.
Oh yeah, definitely more gory.
That one was definitely more gory.
But this one, to put into perspective, because the way the characters were written here and everything that it's the current time and everything, I thought this was really good. Has so many different elements here, so many different horror stuff that I really enjoyed. The jump scares, the whole storyline was well put together, and the open-ended question here and the open-ended ending is what happened. You literally going to be asking yourself this so many times. We'll talk about the spoilers review right now, guys, but I'm gonna give this a solid 8.5 as well, just because it left me questions, and it left me just like, oh my God, what did I just watch? A psychological thriller that really keeps you entertained in so many levels. And I thought in the horror aspect, it exceeds it 110%. A24 did a great job here. The directors did a great job here. I really enjoyed their whole aspect here on telling this story. Danny and Michael, you guys are fantastic. You did a great job when it comes to horror. Now, what else can they do? Not a sequel, but like I want to see what else they could do.
Yeah, what are your next projects?
Yeah, what are your next projects?
You have our interest peaks. So we'd love to see what you're going to do next.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see what more. And now that we already know that, the next film they're going to do, I'm definitely going to check it out for sure. That's the point of filmmaking. This is the point of all that. It's like word of mouth. It's like, oh man, they're the same creators of Talk to Me, which I think, in my personal opinion, audiences are going to enjoy this movie.
Yes.
I really think so.
Yes.
And it's weird because it comes out at a weird runtime. It comes out at a weird time of the year, like July. Like we just saw Insidious 2 weeks ago, and we're what's going on?
It's been like you say, a weird
movie year.
Time for movies. Yeah, because like it's weird. It's also kind of like the timeline because it's like you have
it's summer
Insidious,
movies.
You have Barbie. Oppenheimer.
Barbie is more,
but it's like all smushed.
But Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer. To be honest, that's kind of a weird the theme of that movie and everything. I felt like it should have. I like the way I love it where it's at. Don't get me wrong, but I felt like of a movie like that caliber probably would have been towards the end of October,
fall
season.
Movie.
But a summer movie, like what? I mean, Barbie's a huge. That's a summer movie, no matter what.
It's like
Barbie is.
but Talk
to Me to make a summer movie. What? I'm excited though. I can't wait till this comes out to moviegoers out there. But questions for you guys. Put in comments down below. Did you enjoy this movie? Put in comments down below. If you enjoyed this film, guys, leave us your rating on the comments down below. If you had a great time watching this film. As always, like, share, subscribe. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan680.
I'm Angela Alamo
City Movie Talk, guys. Thank you so much for making this a part of your day. Have a good one. Stay safe, San Antonio. Peace.